I mean, if it's going to be wet, it might as well be wet, right? But maybe it's something to do with the pressure, because it's, I don't know, but it's broken. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. It is mad how fast these videos keep coming around at the minute. I'm not sure if it's because I don't get any sleep anymore and every day just rolls into the next one, or what it is, but yeah, it's crazy how quick it's coming around. It is getting to that time of year again where we're soon getting to get the combine out, and I need to go through it and have a bit of a check over, so we're going to do that in a bit. But I've actually got probably the worst job on the farm to go and do, one I absolutely detest, and I'm sure you all remember it from last year because I moaned about it all the time, is I've got to clean the grain store. There's a few jobs I hate on farm. I hate TB testing, very much dislike cleaning kit down. I don't mind washing it, but just like getting all the dust and crap off it, ugh, horrible. But this one takes the biscuit. This is the worst job. I don't know if it's the dust, I don't know what it is, but it is the worst job. I've moved all the kit out. As you can see, the mower was stood here, as you can tell from the grass that's on the floor. The drill was stood there, as you can tell from the bit of stuff that's on the floor. Had some fertilizer here. That bit of corn somehow come from the other side of the wall. So obviously I've got a hole there, needs filling. And this is one for you guys. If any of you know what to put in these cracks, because we've tried cementing them with some mortar and stuff like that, but it just seems to come out. It never seems to take properly. We're not allowed to use bitumen in grain stores, so we can't put like a tar down them. We need something to seal the cracks. Any ideas? I'm gonna have to clean all this up, get the brush in here, brush it all up. It's actually a lot easier now than it used to be. Now we've got the bucket brush on the forklift, but yeah, still not pleasant, still hate it. And then we'll bring the combine up because we've got some little bits we want to do on there. So it's a proper pre-harvest prep because the barley is nearly ready. It's been sprayed off because I had a little bit of wheat volunteers in there and I just wanted to knock them out so that it didn't get too wet. The weather is, well, dodgy, to say the least. It is just catchy as. Wet enough to stop everyone combining, but not properly wet. I mean, if it's going to be wet, it might as well be wet, right? Want to make sure that we're ready, so when it does come dry, we do get an opportunity, we can have a go. So I suppose first thing I should do is start and clean this grain store. Great. Right, that's the grain store done. I'm now itchy as that barley just gets me. It's like the one thing I'm allergic to. And here we go, time to bring the old girl around. I need to wash it this year. Didn't wash it last year, I didn't have time, but I really need to do it this year. I hate not washing her. I think last year was the only year I've ever not washed the combine. I had a good excuse last year with the wedding. Not got such a good excuse this year. But before then, we've got a few little bits that I want doing on it. I'll show you when we get up to the workshop, but I'll go to run around the back of the yard because I can't take her up through the building, she's too wide. Right, that's her bolt up. I'll put her just there. I'm gonna go and get the header out because it's raining and I can deal with the header inside the shed. It's too wet to mess around with that, but there's a few things need doing on that combine before we get using it. That's just took the forklift round with the D-links and we'll get the header and put it in the grain store and then I can have a look at that. You have to be careful getting out there. You have to do it with the front of the forklift just so you've got some room to be able to just maneuver the sails, because if you try and do that with the tractor or the hitch, you're going to bend them. It is tight. I need to sort them out because they're rattling. I'm going to put them up in a different hole. There's not a lot to go wrong on this header, to be fair. I think it's all right. If you're wondering why it's black in there, I sump oil it all in the autumn, so when it's obviously all shiny and whatever else, rather than it go rusty, just put all over everything. Most of the gizmos are in here. We actually put a new bearing in here last year or the year before. I think it might have been the year before. It's all fine. Sort those bits on the lifters out and grease it up. Right, so onto the combine. There's a few things we've got to get sorted. Firstly, I got to deal with this. At the bottom of the unloading auger last year, I was just doing the beans and I noticed a few were dribbling. And I managed to fix it with a bit of tape, but like, that's rotted, that little plate there. And I don't know why that's rotted so bad, because it spends all its time indoors and it very, very rarely stands out. But maybe it's something to do with the pressure, because it's, I don't know, but it's broken. So I'm going to take that off and deal with that. I want to check all the shaker shoes in here, because that actually looks really worn. We've had problems with the sieve in the back, like the sieve housing cracking, and it's a nightmare. It's drove me mad to the point where you could just like throw a match into this thing at sometimes. It's just infuriating. We need to make sure that sieves are all right, because it smashes the sieves all to pieces if those shaker shoes are worn, cracks all the sieve frame, and it's like a 3-day job to get it out, fix it, put it back in. You weld it all together and you strengthen it up, but you've not got a lot of room to play with because everything there's so tight. Nightmare. And then I want to have a look in here, because we've got a bit of diesel issues. It's hunting for diesel a little bit. See if we can clean the diesel tank out maybe, or something like that. And I'm sure there'll be plenty of other things going wrong with it, but we'll have that plate off first and see what we can find there. Wow, look at this. This is not well. Completely rotten on the inside. It shouldn't be like that. I don't know, I'm gonna have to fix that. Weld a new plate on it somehow, but oh, not good. There we go, good as new. Hopefully that bit of plate that I put on there is a bit thicker, so it should last another God knows how many years. Next job, we need to look at them sieves, because yeah, that bush being worn is worrying me a little bit. Right, so we've had a look at the shaker shoes. We got a wooden post in there, tried to shake it. It must just be how they're sitting on the rubber bushes, because it's all fine. What we do have though is the diesel problem. It needs sorting, so we're going to drain the diesel tank down. We're going to try and work out where this air is getting into the diesel, because it is just driving us mad, and it's the last thing you want is being a decent crop of wheat or something and then bung the whole combine through because it just loses power. So we'll drain that down and then we'll see what we find. Okay, so we've drained the tank down. As you can see, we've got a lot of diesel, like 220 litres of diesel air in cans. What we did find on this pipe, we've got a couple of little, I don't know if you can see them, little bits where they've been chewed. Now, I don't think there's any holes in it, but that's not going to help. The other thing we found is on the fuel filter just here, this coupling was too small. The one on the other side has a little bit of pipe just put on top of that pipe to sort of bulk it out a little bit. This one didn't have it. And this pipe was running air. Found that bit of air in there that was trapped, put another bit of pipe on there just to bulk that out. That'll stop any air going into the pipe, and obviously that was then going sucked up into the engine. We're gonna have to try and bleed it up, so we're gonna put some more fuel in it. Hopefully we get it running. If we don't get it running, well, we might have to get someone else to have a look at it, because I'll be out of my depth then. Moment of truth. Come on, girl. Come on, girl. Ooh, now we're talking, now we're talking. I think we fixed it. Happy days. What a relief. Oh, spoke too soon. Still doing it. There you go, just done it again. Right. Bit stumped now. Gonna have to call in the cavalry, I think. Well, here's the turn up for the books. We got in independent John Deere mechanicking guru, Richard Johnson, and it turned out, after a little bit of jiggery pokery, that we had done everything right, we just hadn't ran it for long enough. Panic over, it is fixed. Nice to know we did it right as well. I'm no mechanic, but it was nice to get it right. So I'm gonna fuel her up and then, well, we'll see. At least we know she's running. Set the sieves, I've set the concave, everything's ready to go. She just needs a wash. Anyway, that's enough for one day. Now, if the wind blows in the right direction, we might even get the combine moving this week, which would be quite exciting. I'm not gonna hold my breath though, because the weather is terrible. Like, the forecast is shocking. But nevertheless, keep your fingers crossed, because, oh, a harvest video would be amazing. Whatever you're up to this weekend, have a great one. Look after yourselves, and I will see you in a little bit. Ta-da!